Good.
Yeah. Yep.
Good afternoon, and welcome to our first college recognition ceremony for the class of 2022. Today we are here to recognize and celebrate 8 outstanding student athletes who have committed to pursuing their academic and athletic careers at the next level. These student athletes have worked very hard both in the classroom and at their sport while overcoming many COVID obstacles the last 2 years. On behalf of Quakertown Community High School, congratulations to these dedicated student athletes being honored today. Let me introduce them to you before we hear from their coaches and then the athletes themselves. And I'll be going from your left to right. First up, Sydney Andrews will be playing softball at CABRINI University. John Juszynski will be running cross country and track at Slippery Rock University. Kevin Wang will be, I guess not running, but jumping at MACALESTER College. Madison Peacher will be playing lacrosse at Shepherd University. Kennedy Bowen will be competing in gymnastics at Kent State University. Ty Everitt will be attending Washington College and playing baseball. Peyton Kochel will be playing baseball at Delaware Valley University. And Thomas Kozlusky will be playing baseball at Eastern University. What an outstanding group of 8 student athletes. And now we would like to hear a little bit about their story from their high school coaches. First up, I'm going to ask Coach Dave Scott to come up and tell us a little bit about Sydney.
So I'm sure Sid is pretty nervous right now. Don't be. The first time I saw Sid, I almost cried. She was about 11, and I looked at her swing, and I thought, oh my God. Now I'm up here today trying not to cry because I don't want her to leave us. Sid is everything a coach asks for. She comes to practice, first to practice, last to leave. As a pitcher, who for the most part they're not athletes, she's almost always first in all of our physical conditioning, all of our running. Sid could probably play any one position and she'd still be sitting up here. The fact that she's a pitcher doesn't mean that she's not an athlete. And literally could be a shortstop, could be an outfielder, could be anything she wanted to be. Thank God for the program, you're a pitcher. Cabrini's getting a good one. And coach down there is going to have a very good time working with Sid because she's very coachable. She wants to get better. Even coming into her senior year, she's improved and added 3 or 4 miles an hour to her fastball. Has started to get a little more serious about the weights, and you'll get more serious in the fall for that. And I can't wait to see what the future holds. I know we're all very excited that you're going local so that we can come watch you play. So we are all very proud of you and congratulations.
Next I'm going to invite up head cross-country coach and distance track coach, Coach Mooney, to talk about John.
John is the only guy to get me to cry at award ceremony, so I'll try to hold back today. I've had the good fortune to coach JJ for the last 4 years in cross country and in track. He's truly a dedicated athlete, and he leads by example. He's a tremendous role model for the underclassmen to emulate. And he took on that role with full force. He led. I had asked him to lead in stretches I had come up with, and he led them for the last 3 years. So I'm going to have to find somebody to take over for next year. One thing John tried to do, probably unsuccessfully, was try and figure out my workouts. And with that being said, he was like having another coach on the field. Kids looked up to him, the underclassmen particularly, as well as his fellow teammates. And that led me to have John become one of our tri-captains last season. John found success very, very early in his high school career, but it wasn't without hard work. He, along with another freshman, Chester Welliver, ran varsity as freshmen. And John was running somewhere, he's going to kill me on this, but he's run, and I looked. But he was starting out running somewhere between 20 minutes and 30 seconds for 5K. By the time he was a senior, 4 years later, he was running sub-17s. He ran 16:57. I believe this is PR, unofficially, or actually that is officially. But the pinnacle of his season, of his career, actually, I should say, was last season. Of the 5 dual meets that we ran, John placed first in 3 of them. The other 2, he was second and third. Along with that, he medaled in every invitational this past season, and that's usually with the top 15 to top 25 in each invitational. So quite an achievement. That being said, or not mention the fact that his success in cross country also led him to a first and second team all-league. And last year, as Celia mentioned earlier, a COVID season, he had to qualify for districts, and he was one of 2 athletes from last season to qualify for our district meet. John also excelled in track. His specialty event was the 3,000 to 3,200 meter, but he did have a goal of breaking 5 minutes in the mile. And if it's all right with you guys, and if some of you heard this story before, just bear with me. I had given John a number of opportunities to break 5 minutes. His first 3 were unsuccessful. I think he got down to 5:03. He texted me the day before our last meet, our last dual meet, and he said, "Coach, I think I can do it." I said, "I know you can." I gave him the opportunity to run it a 4th time. What he didn't know was I had arranged for 2 of his teammates, one to set the pace and the other to act as a bodyguard to give him an alley to get outside. That being said, it was the day after Roger Bannister breaking 4 minutes, many, many years later. Bannister did it on May 6th. John broke 5 minutes on May 7th. I'll never forget it. His dad, with 200 meters to go, said he's not going to get it. I went over to him. I said he's going to get it. John ran 4:59.6 that day. It was the proudest I'd ever been, except for the birth of my son. But that being said, running isn't everything in John's life. It's only about 95%. He achieved the rank of Eagle Scout this past summer, and as Dr. Horner always said, cross-country runners are the smartest and the most dedicated, and I believe that because John is one of 6 Eagle Scouts that ran cross-country in our program since I've been here. Along with that, John's also a member of the National Honor Society, and I'm proud of that fact as well. JJ will be a welcome addition to any college program, and Slippery Rock is lucky to have him. The sky's the limit for his potential. Just have a quick quote, and then I'll be off. Commitment unlocks the doors of imagination, allows vision, and gives us the right stuff to turn our dreams into reality. And John's taken advantage of every bit of that. So thank you.
Next, we want to hear about Kevin, and I'll ask Dr. Nick Hood to come up.
When I was asked to do this today, I didn't know what to say. The first thing that came to my mind about Kevin was he is our resident coach. He's our resident landscaper. He single-handedly keeps our long jump pit free of everything, including a dead chicken that he found this past year. That's a true story, and nothing phases him. His success has been really simple. He's got really great talent, and he's got even better work ethic. So you put that together, and it's great. Even with these 2 chaotic years, he lost his sophomore year, and junior year was not really that fun. He's gotten better. He came in as a freshman. He just told me he was jumping 16 for long jump. He's going to break 22 this year. He's at 20 and a half right now. I'm pretty confident he's going to hit 22. But he's more than just a jumper. He could pretty much do anything on the track. Maybe shot put might be the only exception, but everything else. He filled in for cross country this year. He's got all the talent in the world. And I think MACALESTER is getting a great athlete, and he's untapped, so I think they're going to get to see the best of him. He's poised for a great senior year. He told me today he's going to triple jump, long jump, high jump, jab maybe. If we put him in the mile, he could probably do well in that too. He can do it all. So I'm just really proud of the fact that he's just worked hard and gotten better each and every year. And I think this senior year is going to be, I think it's going to be a big year for him, and I hope that he stays healthy. And congratulations, I'm really proud of you.
Next up, let's hear about Madison from girls lacrosse coach Tracy Hibsman.
First of all, I just wanted to say congratulations to all the athletes up here. I don't know if you know this little fact, but there's like 7% of athletes in high school actually move on to play at the college level, so it's pretty amazing, so congratulations to all of them. All right, and I'm not as good off the cuff, so I'm going to read my speech, and there's no crying in here, so. So first, I'm honored to be here today to recognize Madison Peacher. She is committed to play D2 lacrosse, women's lacrosse at Shepherd University in West Virginia. She's planning to major in biology, so not only is she athletic, she's also very intelligent. She has plans to go into the pre-med field, so that's pretty awesome. And last year was my first year coaching Madison, so I've only had 1 year experience with her so far, but it's been a pleasure, and I really look forward to coaching her in her final season this year. As many of you may know, Madison is not only a dedicated lacrosse player, but she's also a soccer player. She has played soccer since she was 3. She plays goalie for the high school girls team. And on top of that, she's also the kicker for the football team as well. If you didn't know that, she's been doing that since her junior year. Again, high achiever here. Madison has many talents, but when it came down to it, she felt very passionate about lacrosse, and that's where she decided to continue her athletic dreams. So Madison plays attack, and it's very well suited for her. She likes to have the ball in her stick and go to goal. That's her main job on the field, and that's what she likes to do. Madison was our top scorer last year. She scored 33 goals for our team, which is pretty awesome. That actually helped our team achieve our 7-9 record last year, which may not sound amazing to a lot of you out there, but that was double our wins in the program's history. I think the most games we ever won in the past was 3 games, so pretty awesome. And if it weren't for Madison, we sure would have had the wins that we did. Without her drive to put the ball in the back of the net, we certainly wouldn't have the record that we had. And actually, for those reasons, last year Madison was awarded the was the Offensive Player of the Year award for 2021. Another pretty cool or unique fact with Madison is that she's a lefty. So that's a pretty unique skill to have in the game of lacrosse. It makes her, more of a threat as an attacker. It's pretty cool. And then a few other things I want to point out about Madison is her growth that we saw in her last year. At the start of the season last year, she was what I kind of call like a one-dimensional player. She got the ball in her stick and she put her head down and she went to goal, and she was good at it. But because she's such a coachable player, we coached her to kind of get the ball in her stick, look up, have more field awareness, and that's what she did. And she was able to have more assists than she's ever had in her history, and just become more of a team player and have other girls get the opportunity to score just like she can. And actually, I don't have any stats to prove, but I know you had more assists last year probably than in your career ever. She also learned patience and how to be more effective as a team player. And she also has grown a lot in her mental toughness. She's definitely very hard on herself. She's a high achiever, so like most high achievers, she's definitely hard on herself. But she learned to be more patient and more effective as a team player. Let's see. One thing, so I asked some of her teammates, and what her teammates said about her is that she's always upbeat and inclusive. She's always got her music playing and her singing voice on. The coaches will never get out of our heads the song Clarity, which I think we played at every single game that we played last year. So unfortunately, I have like nightmares of Coach Dan singing Clarity in like the loudest voice ever. It's not a good memory to have, but. All right, so last I just want to say, Madison, that I've been really proud to have been able to coach you over the last year, and I look forward to coaching you in your final high school season. We're going to miss you for sure on the team, all the energy and positivity you bring to the team, and definitely Clarity, we're going to miss that, and we're going to have to keep playing that for all our seasons in the future. We'll miss your entertaining spirit, and of course all the goals that you scored for us. So congratulations and best wishes at Shepherd University. Congratulations.
As you can see, normally we invite a head coach or an assistant coach or a position coach to speak about our athletes. But our next honoree, Kennedy, who is in gymnastics, we do not have an in-house gymnastics program. So we welcomed having one of her coaches come. Unfortunately, due to their commitments, they were not able to be here, but they did write something about Kennedy that I would like to read for you. The success of an athlete isn't always determined by the amount of medals or accolades, but rather how they persevered through their journey. The coaches at Stalin Gymnastics have had the pleasure of coaching Kennedy Bowen for the past 4 years. She is a focused and dedicated athlete who trains 20 hours per week, 12 months a year. Her work ethic and determination has earned her a prestigious spot on the Kent State University gymnastics team. Her passion for the sport has allowed her to overcome many obstacles, including the one she is currently dealing with. As you can see her come up on stage on crutches. We are confident that her positive attitude and strong character will enable her to have a successful D1 scholar athlete experience. Congratulations. We will miss you, but we are excited to follow your continuing journey at Kent State University. Love, Gina and Marty Omrick, Joe Stallone, and your Stallone Gymnastics family. Congratulations, Kennedy. Next up, I'm going to invite Coach John Pallone for our 3 baseball honorees.
Congratulations to all the athletes up here. As was mentioned earlier, it's certainly quite an accomplishment and a privilege to go off to college and be able to compete in college athletics. Not an easy thing. I'm going to start off with Peyton Kochel, who's going to Delaware Valley. I'd just like to mention that he plays much larger than he actually is. This fall, in fact, he led the team in extra base hits. But it isn't because he's a big power hitter. It's kind of a joke to us that last year during the season he was batting 4th for us, and we thought we had the tiniest 4 hitter in the league, but he did the job and he did it well, helping us get to a lot of victories there. What he does when he's at the plate, he goes up and he has great at-bats. He hits the ball where it's pitched in a day where everyone's trying to hit the ball as far as possible. He isn't afraid to hit the ball to the opposite field or on the ground with 2 outs in order to score a runner. He's grown a ton since his freshman year, maybe not as much physically or vertically, but as a freshman he could be a little bit mature, like many of our freshmen can be. However, he now takes the game in a much more serious approach on and off the field as well. And I want to share a favorite memory with Peyton. And it isn't the University of North Carolina commit Juszynski hitting rockets at him at second base that one year. We actually put 4 outfielders and played 1 less infielder, and that guy just liked to hit the ball to second base at him as hard as he could. Instead, it's actually the game against Abington, the second time we played him, actually, or both times that we played him last season. Abington had 2 pitchers going to Division I, one going to Seton Hall, one going to Maryland, and by our luck, we happened to face the guy going to Seton Hall twice and the guy going to Maryland once. In the first game, we were going against the guy going to Seton Hall. Peyton comes up, has a great at-bat, hits a double, and keeps us in the game there when we're playing against Abington at their place. Second time we play them, we're at our place at Memorial Park this year, or last year, and guy going to Seton Hall, again, dealing, tough situation, tough game. If we win, we're likely getting a bye first round in the playoffs. If we lose, there's a good chance that we don't even get into playoffs. So game's on the line, 2 great pitchers from the other team that we're seeing. It's going to be a close ball game. Every at-bat matters. Peyton hits a triple off the guy. Going to Seton Hall, also works a walk to get on base. And then later in the game, in the 5th inning, he hits a ground ball in the infield and able to, with 2, I believe he had 2 strikes there, in order to bring a runner in to win the game. We win the game 3-2. So it's a lot of those small things that he does that a lot of people who don't know the game that well don't really notice. But those that know the game and appreciate the game see those small things that he does, and how it adds up to make a big difference. So it's Peyton Kochel. Move on to Thomas Kozlusky, TK, or Tommy K, sometimes we call him. Tommy going off to Eastern University. First thing that comes to mind when I think of Tommy is how hard he works. I frequently see him and his brother and or Ty down at the QIBA and County Mac fields getting extra swings in or getting work in on the field, getting extra reps any way that he can. But Tommy doesn't just work hard, he also works smart. We've played around a little bit with some blast motion software, which is a little sensor you stick on the bat, and then it connects to online data and can actually get your swing angle and the bat and all this fun stuff. And Tommy and Ty actually both kind of became our experts with that field, working a lot on and developing their swings and Tommy in particular really working on developing his swings, using the data from that software, which taking a lead as a underclassman in doing so. So he learned how to utilize that data to help him, and then he brought that to the other players as well. He's probably developed the most physically, if not overall, in 4 years that I've seen him. I was just looking at his ninth grade statistics on the freshman team, and he had the 9th most at-bats on the team as a freshman. But last year as a junior, only 2 players from that team had more at-bats than he did from his graduating class that were on that team. He is an example to show young guys what happens when you have a passion for the sport, drive, and dedication. Freshman year, like I said, he was small, worked not only on his baseball skill, but his physical fitness as well. I think he's grown probably about a foot since freshman year. No joke on that. But he isn't just growing vertically, he's also growing in strength, which is due to his dedication in the weight room. He's found a way to hang into the lineup because he does a lot of the small things very well. Doesn't chase bad pitches, and that results in him seeing a lot of pitches and finding the way to get on base. When he does make outs, they were productive outs, seeing many pitches and moving runners on the bases. He's also made position changes. As he came up as a freshman, he was more of an infielder. Last year, he played mostly in the outfield. This year, he may see some time at first base, which is something that he's been working on in the offseason, so he's a versatile player. And he's always helping others. He's a quiet leader who may not be at the front leading the charge at all times, but he will set the example without craving the attention. And he also has no problem approaching teammates, especially younger guys, in a non-confrontational manner, on the side in a way to get things done correctly. Our last guy today is Ty Everitt, going off to Washington College. Ty got a little bit of time his freshman year on varsity, would have likely gotten a lot of time up there as a sophomore, obviously shortened due to COVID. As a junior, Ty was a captain, which we haven't had too many captains in their junior year in our program, but that's a testament to his leadership. He's one of the first ones at practice every time, and he's always the last one to go. He makes sure that everything's taken care of and definitely takes a leadership role. He is elite in his work ethic. He puts in as much or more work than any other player that I've had, and that's also likely his biggest fault, because sometimes he works himself thin. Outstanding person on and off the field. He's a leader on the field, obviously, but he's also a leader in the classroom and in the community as well. Ty doesn't just say the right things, he does them, and he leads others to do them as well. Favorite memory with Ty, also from that game, second time we played Abington last year. I moved Ty, he knows this one already, he's looking at me. I moved Ty to leadoff, because our leadoff hitter kept hitting deep fly balls to the warning track that would get caught. And Ty was doing a much better job of seeing a lot of pitches and finding and working his way on base, a little more traditional of a leadoff hitter. Big game, like I said before, if we won, looking at a bye in playoffs. If we lose, looking like we're not going to get in playoffs. We knew we were going to see 2 Division I pitchers, one going to Maryland, second one going to Seton Hall that we've already seen, and the pressure was high. In his first at-bat, Ty swings at the first pitch, pops it up to third base. In his second at-bat, swings at the first pitch, pops it up to first base. 2 unproductive outs, not really characteristic of who Ty was, or to who Ty is. And I got a little angry and a little heated with him, and I told him if he hits the ball in the air again, he's not gonna hit the rest of the year. So Ty comes up to bat later in the game, with nobody on base, shows sacrifice bunt. Third baseman doesn't know what's going on because there's nobody on base. Why would you sacrifice? And he basically takes the pitch. Pitcher throws a strike, so it's strike 1. Second pitch, Ty comes up, shows sacrifice again. I'm coaching third. The third baseman looks over at his coach and he's like, "What is this kid doing? There's nobody on base. Why is he showing bunt?" So he starts to come up a little bit to take away the bunt, and Ty slashes and fouls the pitch off. The third baseman's eyes get real big because if you charge and you slash, you can get hurt. So now he starts to look back and he stays back. So there's 2 strikes on Ty. It's not really a big bunt situation to bunt, because if you bunt a foul ball, you're out. And he's again showing, you don't really show sacrifice early, but he's showing sacrifice. Third baseman doesn't charge this time. Ty fouls another one off. So here we are, pressure situation, 2 strikes. And he is, game's on the line, comes up, shows bunt another time, 0-2, fouled one off already, and he hits a line drive. I mean, that ball did not go very high, but it went off the fence. So he hits a line drive off the fence, extra base hit, And he's standing on second base and he's looking over at me like, am I in trouble? I didn't hit that ball on the ground. But again, Ty took what we had talked about earlier in the year. We talked about shortening up your swing. Slashing is a nice way to shorten up. Not exactly what I was thinking about at that time, but he had the talent and the ability to do it, and he listened, and his swing came through. And sometimes when you play baseball, your swing gets a little long, you need to make adjustments, and he found a way to do it and to get it done. And that's a moment I'm never going to forget either. Just the look in his face like, am I in trouble for hitting the double there? Doing everything he's supposed to be doing. So again, congratulations to all the athletes up there. Have a great time playing this out.
Thank you, coaches, for all your stories and your great comments. This next part, for a lot of us, is the most fun and interesting, because now we're going to listen to these athletes. I had given them 4 or 5 questions to prepare an answer. Some of them have them written out. As I said, please do if you get a little nervous, I think as we all do as adults in front of a group. And some decided to wing it. So this will be our entertaining part. So Sid, you're up.
Hi. So I was asked what my most memorable moment of playing with my teammates and coaches was. And I think my most memorable moment was when we beat Pennsbury, who is the top seed in the playoffs for districts, to make it to semifinals. It was a big team moment, and I really had a lot of fun. The lessons I learned from participating in softball at QCHS are that you need to be able to come together as a team and leave everything not softball related at the door. I learned that your softball team is your family and they'll always be there for you. I feel my best accomplishments in high school sports were that I set goals for myself at the beginning of last year to hit 200 strikeouts during the season, and I overachieved my goal. I would like to thank all of my coaches for all the time and effort they put in to help me throughout my career, my parents for the time they came to watch my games, and all of the confidence they had in me. I would definitely not be where I am without them. And what I hope to achieve in college and beyond is I plan on majoring in exercise science, and I hope to become an athletic trainer or physical therapist in the future.
Thank you, Sid. John?
Hello. Obviously, John Juszynski, and I'll be attending Slippery Rock in the fall. My most memorable moment with my team and with my coaches, well, it's hard to pick across the 11 seasons that I've run. I would say it was our scrimmage against Southerton last year. It was downpouring. There were about 3 inches of water in the first lane of the track. They kept shoveling water out of the thrower's pit. Rain was sideways and everyone was miserable, and we did not have enough coverage, but we still found a way to laugh. We still found a way to enjoy what we were doing, and we had a pretty good race. And I think that's a little bit about who we as Quakertown are. We're not always given the best situations and circumstances, but we find the best in them. The lessons that I've learned from cross country and from track, I think that responsibility is the biggest one of them. It's made me realize how, even in team sports, the individual, there's a lot of self-responsibility that you have to do and have to accomplish before you're even on the track. There's a certain degree of training and responsibility that everyone has to do to make your team function really work. I think my best accomplishment over my 4 years was at home, and it wasn't an important race. I mean, it was a dual meet, so every race is important, but it wasn't an individual or invite. There weren't going to be medals. It wasn't officially timed, but I ran 16:35 at home, and it was the fastest time that a Quakertown athlete has run in 4 years. And it felt like it was the moment that everything that I had been working for had finally come together. And so, not many people know about it, but it was the moment that I felt the most fluid and that everything I had worked for was finally there. Those I'd like to thank. I'd like to thank my parents, my siblings and grandparents for supporting and cheering me on. I'd like to thank all my coaches, especially Coach Mike, and all the different track coaches for the workouts, advice, and the ability that you guys have given me to push beyond anything I could have imagined. And finally, I'd like to thank my teammates across 4 years from kind of 11 seasons for the best years of my life. And looking for the future, it's hard to say specifically what I want to achieve, but I know that I want to become the best athlete that I possibly can, and I don't think I can put a limit on that yet. And because of the guidance and the coaching that I've received from Quakertown, I want to give back to them in some way. I know how important it is for athletes to receive quality coaching and to have coaches who care about their athletes. And so I hope to coach one day myself.
Thank you, John. Kevin?
My name is Kevin. I will be going to MACALESTER College as a jumper. First off, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. I know it means a lot to all of us. So the most memorable moments, as I was trying to write this, I really could not think of one, except for all the times that I'm helping the underclassmen learn how to jump farther and run faster. So seeing them push themselves and seeing the results means a lot more to me than they probably would know. So, and what I'm about to say sounds cliche, but in all honesty, I didn't know what the phrase "hard work pays off" meant until my junior season. So, practicing over the summer really set me up for the seasons that followed after, and I could see the head start I had on everybody. So, hard work pays off, guys. My best accomplishment in the commitment to track is the commitment to track. From 7th grade until now, I've never missed a season, besides the COVID one. And then sticking to one thing definitely made me value the sport so much more. And it would be a part of my life forever, and I would use it as a standard. So I'd like to thank my family for always supporting me, my teammates and the coaches, and Quakertown itself, helping me practice all summer in the hot sun and giving me this opportunity to compete and jump at college level. I could not have done it without any of you guys, and thank you for that. So during college, I would like to major in psychology and possibly pre-med. And for long jump, the goal is 24 feet in college, and I would like to become a therapist after that. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Madison?
My name is Madison Peacher, and I've committed to Shepherd University to play lacrosse in West Virginia. My most memorable moment with my teammates and coaches was everyone coming back after COVID and being excited to get back on the field and put all the work in. The biggest lesson I learned from playing sports at Quakertown was always give it your all no matter what the circumstance is. Nothing is ever guaranteed on and off the field. My best accomplishments in high school sports was definitely scoring at least one goal each game last year and helping out the team, but in all, going undefeated for the first time in history for football. I would like to thank Coach Tracy, Coach Dan, Coach Andy, Coach Rich, and Coach Bill, but most of all, my family and my teammates. Each and every day, they all pushed me to the best version of myself on and off the field. In college, I want to major in biology on the pre-med track and eventually become a pediatrician, and while doing this, I aspire to maintain a high GPA while playing lacrosse.
I'm going to have you stay there and we'll bring the mic to you. But before we move on to Kennedy, just one point of interest. Mary Jane Souter is here from Suburban Sports. Thank you for coming. And what she always tells us is she enjoys these stories because when she goes to other schools who do their college signings, they have a great setup like we do, but they don't always have the coaches or the athletes speak. So I think we're special in that we've developed this system and we enjoy listening to the coaches and we enjoy listening to the athletes.
My name is Kennedy Bowen, and I will be attending Kent State University in Ohio in the fall. One of my most memorable moments in gymnastics was my first meet of my senior season this year. I scored a personal best on every event, placed first all around, and earned the Outstanding Performance Award. I actually even competed against my future roommate at Kent State, and we placed first and second at the meet. Gymnastics has taught me many lessons. One of the biggest lessons that it's taught me is how to persevere and work hard for things that I want. I've had to learn to be independent from traveling to away meets with just my coach and my teammates. I feel my best accomplishment in gymnastics was when I qualified to level 10 nationals, as well as when I was the level 9 state champion. I'd like to thank my mother and father, my brothers, my coaches, and my teammates, and all those who have supported me with rides, cheers, and well wishes through the years. In college, I hope to compete as a freshman, coming back strong from my injury. I want to score a perfect 10, and I plan on majoring in exercise science, which I hopefully want to open up my own CrossFit gym in the future.
All right, thank you, Kennedy. Ty, I'm going to make you come up here.
How's everybody doing? I just want to say thanks for coming. My family's here. I'm really happy they can make it. My name is Ty Everitt. I'm going to be playing baseball at Washington College. So my most memorable moment, I really like the preseason workouts we have. We have them here at the high school over at Strayer. And something really fun happened last night. It was over at Strayer Middle School. So we have practices Monday in the winter from 7 to 9 p.m. It's pretty late, but we have fun. Let me explain. Last night, get there at 7, get our work in, and at the end, we have a little competition. These guys know. We have 2 guys lined up, they get a ball thrown over their head, they have to run back, get the ball, and throw it to another guy standing at the end of the gym. Started off slow, some people were getting out, because if you were the second person to throw it, then you were out. So some people got out, some people won and stayed in. But as it went along, people were getting excited. People were picking favorites, picking people to win, and just, it was so much fun, so much good energy, that, I mean, that's just what I'm going to remember when I leave here, all that fun that we had together. So at the end, we have 2 people left. I think Anthony won, and he ended up winning. And everyone was, like going crazy, high-fiving and stuff. And my man Coop here is walking around. We have a boombox going, a speaker going. He's walking around with the boombox like they used to do back in 1980 around the neighborhood. And he just got that speaker going loud, and it was just such a cool environment. And yeah, like I said, that's the stuff I'm gonna look back on and smile about. The lesson I learned from being here at QCHS. I think the most valuable thing I got to do here was wear the Quakertown uniform, and I say that because this is where we all live. We grew up here in Quakertown. We get to go to school with all our buddies, and then when you go out on the field, you represent your town. And that's what's most important to me about being here. People I like to thank, there are a ton of people I could thank, my Little League coaches, all the way up through my high school coaches now. Everyone has helped me along the way. My family has been the #1 supporter. My mom and dad are here, my grandparents are here, my brother is here. And they've given me all the opportunities in the world to be where I am today. So I want to say thank you for that. My friends, my guys up here, everyone down here, thank you too. You're all part of it. Beyond college, I'm undecided right now. I'm still thinking about it, but I like kinesiology and exercise science, kind of like some people up here. So training athletes, working in that sense, maybe have my own gym, something like that. That's what I'm going to look to do. And last, we have my best accomplishment, and I say this for last because there have been some accomplishments I'm proud of, but I gotta be honest, I think the best is yet to come this year. When we are in the playoffs, getting business done, boys. That's it. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ty. Peyton, come on up.
Hi, my name's Peyton. I'm going to be playing baseball at Delaware Valley. My most memorable moment had to be the bus ride after beating Penridge on senior night. Although Coach Pallone wasn't on the bus, we still have a secret that I'll never know about. One lesson I learned from playing sports here is that being on time is late. Although it may seem like a bad thing now, when I'm older and working, it's going to be, it's going to be harped into me from my bosses. My best accomplishment in high school was growing as a player. In 8th and 9th grade, I never would have seen myself playing at the college level due to being small and all that kind of stuff. And now I grew a little bit physically, but more or less mentally and skillfully. Next, I want to thank my parents for the sacrifices they made for me throughout the years, from taking me to practices to tournaments down in Long Island. And I also want to thank my coaches. That goes with Coach Kearns, who coached me when I was 4'5", 70 pounds soaking wet. And Coach Pallone now, who really helped me grow into the player that I am today. And finally, my goal is to graduate college and work and make some money.
Thank you, Peyton. Thomas.
My name is Thomas Kozlusky, and I'll be playing baseball at Eastern University. My most memorable moment is just all the bus rides with my teammates. They were a lot of fun, and the energy we had on the buses was just amazing. The lessons I've learned from playing sports at Beartown is just how important each and every player and coach is to the program, and how much work everyone has to put in order to develop a winning program. I feel as though my best accomplishment in high school sports was just learning how to deal with adversity and always working to find a way to help my team win, even if things weren't necessarily going my way. I'd like to thank my parents for helping to shape me into the person I am today. And I'd just like to thank all my teammates, coaches, and the rest of my friends and families, and this would be possible without them. I hope to continue my successful baseball career in college while also pursuing a degree in engineering. And I'd just like to be able to play baseball for as long as possible. And once my career is over, I'd like to get a job in engineering.
Thank you, Thomas. I think we owe all 8 of these student athletes a huge round of applause for public speaking, which is not easy. And once again, on behalf of Quakertown Community High School, congratulations to the dedicated student athletes sitting up here in front of you, best of luck. Finish out the year strong. Have a great college career, and we'll look to see you come back and say hello during that time. Best of luck and congratulations.